I think there's a lot of sympathy for Eddie Howe. It's not just the Isak situation, Robbie. He and Newcastle have missed out on João Pedro, James Trafford, Ugo Ekitike, Benjamin Šeško. The list goes on. It's been a bit of a nightmare for them, hasn't it?
It's been a real nightmare of a summer. And off the back of a brilliant season last year, winning the League Cup, finishing in the Champions League spots, and then to miss out on so many targets, it becomes a little bit of a laughing stock. And then to add on to that, Alexander Isak's, I've got to say, awful behaviour in trying to force a move to Liverpool. It's been a very challenging time for Eddie Howe. And, of course, he's always very honest in what he says about it. And it's been challenging for the club, for the players, and they've been affected by what's happening with Isak.
Why do you think they've missed out on so many targets?
Well, there's a void in structure around this football club, Rebecca. No chief executive, no sporting director. Eddie Howe's been almost left on his own to deal with the things that are going on the pitch and the things that are going off the pitch. As Robbie said, won the Carabao Cup last year, managed to get in the Champions League. Yet there feels an air of negativity around Newcastle United at the start of the season. I almost feel like Eddie Howe is talking things up, is trying to get us on the positive, on the forward. But in this league, Bex, if you're standing still, you're going backwards. And at the moment, Newcastle, you'd have to say, are standing still in terms of where they were last season.
But, Tim, what's so interesting is Newcastle are in the Champions League.
Yep.
Manchester United, where Benjamin Šeško has chosen to go, finished 15th and are not in Europe. Is there a problem with Newcastle United attracting players?
A little bit, and it probably speaks to the power of Manchester United, which we'll get into at some point this weekend. But Robbie stole my words. When you have to move forward in the Premier League, like this is actually a really good team, Newcastle United, for 2024. You know, or 25, when you get to the new season, you've got to move forward. You have to make signings, and they haven't done it. I worry a little bit, like this kind, and Musty played up in Middlesbrough. I worry a little bit sometimes about the location. If Newcastle was a London club, they'd have every player in the world. I know that sounds so silly to people at home.
It's crazy, Tim, isn't it?
It's
like a
really
4-hour
silly.
drive.
It's
crazy.
really silly. But I think they're having a problem with luring some of those players. And as you said, structurally, they're suffering because of no chief executive. Those are the people who get the deals done.
Yeah, the northeast of England is a great place to live, as you would attest. You were there for 12 years. But you're right, it does seem to be a situation. Just quickly on Aston Villa, they've had a different kind of summer, also very quiet, but they just can't afford to buy any. So Emery's looking at a starting lineup that we know, other than the goalkeeper, we know everybody.
It's such a similar situation to Newcastle. Is there an air of disappointment with the summer? A disappointment of going into the Europa League and not the Champions League? Disappointment that they're not bringing in big names like Rashford and Asensio? And, you know, Emery, I'm sure will try and talk it up, the atmosphere, and get the Villa fans going again, which I'm sure they are. And to Tim's point, even with Villa, that's a good side. But you just get a sense that they need a bit of a kick up the backside.
Well, as Robbie said, if you stand still in the Premier League, you go backwards.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lowe, and as we head towards the end of an exciting Premier League season, make sure you like and subscribe on the NBC Sports YouTube channel for more content like this.